it's Allyssa LaScala here from Fit with Liz, and tonight we're going to be talking about the O word. The O word, guys. I'm talking about organic, and the reason I'm talking about this is because it's kind of piggybacking off of what I was talking about on Monday. So if you guys hadn't watched that live, make sure that you go check it out. I was actually talking about the 5 top foods or products that you want to make sure that you stay away from in order to be able to balance out your hormones. But guys, I want to talk about organic, and there is just such a positive slash negative stigma depending on who you're talking to. And I had this argument with my husband all the time, like literally still do. I'm still trying to get him to come over to my side. But I want to talk about this because for the longest time, even though I've always been into health and wellness, I thought to myself, I'm like, is it really worth it? Like, if you have, I have just, a family of 2 with me, my husband, my fur babies, but then you have people that have 3, 5 kids, and then they're trying to feed themselves too, so they're feeding, 5 to 7 mouths, and you wonder if it's even worth getting organic food, and can you even stay on budget? And if it's something that you can kind of do without, if there are some things that you should go for that are organic, and then other things that you could probably get away from. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about, because guys, I know it all comes down to money. I mean, we would love to be able to know that everything we put in our bodies is great and has the best value and doesn't have pesticides or GMOs or hormones or antibiotics. Like, yeah, we'd love to know that everything we put inside is better for us, but at the same time, we have, mouths to feed, that it's not cheap. We have bills to pay. And so you figure out, do I pay this bill or do I buy organic? And I don't want anybody to feel like that's the obligation. I don't want you to feel like that's the choice you have to make. But that's what I felt like I had to make. I'm like, oh my God, this is like $5 more than. So I have a couple different suggestions for you guys about how to go about this. So first of all, if you're a member of like Costco or Sam's Club, go and buy the organic food in bulk. Like buy, instead of 1 apple, buy like a whole bag of apples, something like that, and get stuff that if you can freeze it, do that, just because it's going to be cheaper to buy it in bulk. If you can partner up with like neighbors or a family that doesn't mind, going in on the organic food, that's a great way to do it. Local farmers markets, just talking to them, and honestly, a lot of times, guys, like you'll be able to get a lot better prices just going to a local farmers market. But if you have to pick, like what foods are the most important that you go organic, I talked about this on Monday when I said it's the conventional meat and dairy that absolutely kill us, guys, because you have to think about if something's not organic, like if you really know what organic means, because I feel like my husband just thinks of it as like, oh, la-di-da, they say it's all natural, but who knows if they're labeling it the right way, or like maybe they're packaging it and saying it's organic, but how can you really guarantee that it's organic? And so he does that all the time. He's a huge skeptic, but the process that it has to go through to get that organic seal, guys, I mean, I was just reading up on it more today, and it's incredible. Like if the food is not certified organic, there can be and are antibiotics, different hormones in there, GMOs, sludge-based or sewage-based, like soil. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah, Sabrina, you said, how do you know it's true organic? It'll have the organic seal on it. So that's what you have to look for. And you also have to be conscious about whether it's just made with organic ingredients. Because if you go to, I think it's organic.org, that's what I was literally just looking over again to make sure I could answer some of these, impromptu questions like that. If you go to that, it has an FAQ on there, and you can see, what it actually means, if it is organic or if it's just made from organic products, like what % actually has to be organic. So if you want to get into like the quality of it there, that's what I would go look at, organic.org, guys. So make sure that you log into that. But if you're, thinking to yourself, okay, well, like what's the priority? Guys, if you're getting your chicken, if you're getting your beef and your turkey, you got to make sure it's going to organic, because if you don't have that, there's no guarantee that the cow wasn't pumped with hormones, it wasn't pumped with antibiotics. And I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but I went to Giant the other day. For those of you that aren't on the East Coast, it's just, it's just one of our, food stores around here, a food market around here. And I went there, and I was looking at the difference between the organic one and then just like the Nature's Promise version, which is supposed to be like the Giant's like natural version. It's supposed to seem like organic or seem very clean. But if you look at the label on the bottom and the asterisk, like even though it says like, it's hormone free, it says next to the asterisk, like they do use hormones or antibiotics when it's absolutely necessary. It just says that it's illegal to use antibiotics or hormones unless it's absolutely necessary to keep the animal in good health. And that's ridiculous. Like, it's just, like, I think to myself, I'm like, okay, well then what are you going to use to qualify as the fact that, you're going to need to put hormones and whatnot in there? You don't know how often they're using it. But if it's organic, they can't. Like, they're literally certifying that they don't use it at all. And then I thought to myself, like, if you guys are thinking, okay, well, if you're not doing all these different additives, Omar, thank you, I'm the best coach. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But if you're someone that you're like wondering like me, like I'm like, why the heck is organic so much more expensive when they don't have all these different added things in it? Like it should be cheaper. It's just natural, right? Well, I was just reading on organic.org that organic farms don't get the same type of funding, guys. Like if it's a conventional farm, which is so screwed up if you think about it, but like if you're just a conventional farmer, you get government subsidies, you get like government support. If you're an organic farmer, you don't get a lot of stuff out there. You don't get the same support, you don't get the same money. And then, the processes they go through are a lot more tedious. And then they have to make sure that they bring someone out and they certify the farm and they certify the food because they're trying to make sure this is legit so that people like my husband that wonder, is this even really organic? They can go back and say, yeah, it is, because look, we had this person certified, that person certified, this person comes and looks at the farm, this is their checklist. So it really is a tedious process, but that's why, guys, because we need to do this anymore. Otherwise, you never know what's going in your body. And one of the number one causes of ADHD in your kids anymore is pesticides. They've literally proven it with multiple studies, let alone, all the other stuff that's happening to your cells when you take in pesticides and hormones. Like, why do you think that we're becoming so, immune to all these antibiotics that are out there? Because we're eating the meat that already has it in there. So yeah, we go to fight it when we have our cold and the, bacteria are already used to it. So, I could go on a total, tangent about that. And I know that there's a bunch of other people that could chime in on that too, that I know are tuned in right now. But if you're wondering what you can get away with as far as, fruits and vegetables, guys, meat and eggs and dairy, like it really shouldn't even be debatable. Like that's the most important. But if you're someone like me that has, the potatoes and the asparagus and all that in the fridge all the time, sometimes you wonder like, oh, could I get away with doing not organic? And if you guys haven't heard of the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 16, I'm going to post that in the comments after this. But the Dirty Dozen are the foods, like the produce, like the fruits and vegetables that you absolutely definitely want to get organic if you have the option to do that they are known to have the highest pesticide content. And then if you go with the Clean 16, those are the foods that have the lowest pesticide content. And if you decide to go with these, and some of them will surprise you, like I didn't think asparagus was going to be on there because it doesn't have an outer shell like pineapple or let me think, like mangoes or like oranges, like those have like that harder, coarser shell. So those don't have as many pesticides in them. But you'd be surprised some of the ones that are on there. Actually, broccoli is on there as one that is lower in the pesticide load. Sabrina, what'd you say? You prefer the moose meat? Guaranteed real organic meat. I've never had moose meat, so that's awesome. I know bison is really good too. But again, any meat that you have and making sure it's organic is so important. But when you guys come down to looking at, the different, deciding between maybe this vegetable, that vegetable, this fruit, that fruit, like if you like one that's on the Dirty Dozen and one that's on the Clean 16, go with the Clean 16 if you don't want to spring for the organic of that other food, okay? So I'm going to post these afterwards. Hopefully that helps you guys out. I know that I always, I wash my foods off. I make sure that I get the spray to be able to rinse off as much as I can, especially if it's not organic. I know my husband says he thinks it tastes better if we just leave the dirt and everything on. Goodness help me, like I still need to sink into him. So that's why I said in the comments, I hope he's watching because he's dog sitting for my in-laws right now. But if you guys have any questions about organic or whatnot, going to organic.org has some great information on there, or you can post your comment below and I will answer it the best I can. So hopefully this helps you guys. Sabrina, I'm glad you found it helpful. Guys, just remember, like if you're trying to drink purified food or purified water, excuse me, and then you want to be able to take your vitamins and minerals, but then you're having food that that has the additives and all of the hormones and antibiotics in it, like we're really not doing ourselves any good. So enjoy the rest of your night and I will see you guys tomorrow with a new topic.